The foreign student economy is significantly valuable and very efficient, and it's been dealt a blow which could prove terminal. It's simply a matter of watching and seeing how this thing pans out and who follows the example of Trump with Harvard. What we're witnessing is not merely a row between an Ivy League university and an American president. It's the politicization of academic freedom, the weaponization of student visas, and a shot across the bows of global education. Now, it's not the first time. Theresa May did this in the early part of this century. And Donald Trump's campaign against Harvard is both theatrical and profoundly consequential. It tells us that in the United States, long the gold standard of higher education, foreign students are no longer entirely safe, and that should worry us all. So, the cardinal question, why? Why target Harvard? On the surface, the administration claims national security grounds, preventing supporters of terrorist organizations from studying in the US, but it's not the first attack on students. The national security thing may sound defensible, but dig a little deeper and the motives become murky and malevolent. Trump has accused Harvard of pro-Hamas sympathies, of racist DEI policies, of hiring radical left idiots. There's a personal edge to this vendetta, and reports have surfaced suggesting Trump was aggrieved by Harvard's alleged rejection of his son, Barron. Despite heavy lobbying, vindictiveness masquerading as policy. More structurally, Trump has long viewed elite institutions as bastions of liberalism and dissent. And by freezing $3 billion in grants and demanding access to disciplinary records, the Trump administration is asserting ideological control over knowledge production itself. It's populism at war with pluralism, and Trump is reminding universities that federal funding comes with political strings, and those strings now form a noose. Harvard has over 6,700 international students. That's about 27% of its student body. That's not a footnote, that's a pillar. And revoking the university's certification under the Student in Exchange Visitor Program jeopardizes not only enrollment but legal residency. That timing in the middle of commencement week is nasty and cruel, but it makes a point. And the financial implications are equally worrying. Each international student brings in around £90,000 per year in tuition and living costs. That revenue is now at risk. Harvard, for all its $50 billion endowment, is not immune to cash flow disruptions or reputational damage. But this is not merely about one university. It's a warning to the entire US higher education system. Toe the ideological line or lose your funding. Lose your students and your future. It's not about individual students, though they can, of course, be picked up. They can be hooded and taken off in a car and put in a deportation centre and shipped away, simply because of something they might have written a year ago. And now we come to the chilling precedent. If a sitting US president can unilaterally attempt to remove a quarter of Harvard's student body for political gain, what message does that send to the world? It tells students from Taiwan, from India, from Nigeria, from the UK that their place is contingent not on merit, but on mood. It tells institutions from Tokyo to Oxford to Sydney that academic freedom is conditional and revocable. This is not an isolated event, it's a trend. Trump's administration is also investigating Harvard for reverse discrimination, trying to tax its endowment and threatening its charitable status. All of these add up to an attempted subjugation of the university system to presidential whim. In authoritarian states, universities are often the first to be attacked because they house the ideas that threaten power. And the United States now teeters on that path. Titter not. Fortunately, we are still in a system where the courts function. A federal court, a federal judge, Alison Dale Burroughs, has already issued a temporary block on Trump's ban. The case will proceed. It's likely Harvard will prevail on constitutional grounds, but the damage has been done already. Students are deferring offers. Others are seeking refuge in Europe, the UK, Japan. The University of Tokyo has even offered to accommodate displaced Harvard students. Meanwhile, confusion reigns. Some Harvard students have already faced secondary screening at airports, interrogated because they belong to a particular university. Even if that policy fails in court, the fear it has generated will clearly linger. In the final analysis, Trump's attack on Harvard is not about Hamas or Harvard, it's about control over ideas, over people, over truth. It's a reminder that demagoguery, when cloaked in national security, becomes dangerously seductive. And we must resist the temptation to see this as a purely American episode. This is a global message, and universities are sanctuaries of inquiry, and international students are the lifeblood of academic exchange. To make them pawns in a political grudge match is to imperil the very notion of a university. If Harvard is not safe, nowhere is. Academic freedom is destroyed. Academic opportunity is destroyed.